everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to my channel as we discuss the 90 Day Fiance Season 6 Tell All Part 2. Here we go. Just want to say a special shout out to all my subs and all of my friends that came and watched live with me and commented throughout the 2-hour process that was this tell all. It is so fun to talk to you guys and you're hilarious and I love it. Actually talking about the show is better than the show. Because these couples obviously took it to a real dark place this season. Do I have to say that? A lot of it wasn't fun to watch. And not only was it not fun to watch, it was like I needed to turn away from the television. I said this in the live and I'm gonna say this again. It felt like this season of 90 Day Fiance lacked humanity and lacked love. Like, what couple is in love? Maybe Kalani and Asuelu? Tell me in the downstairs comments what you think, but that's what I think. By the way, thank you so much for liking this video already and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I love your comments. I love engaging with you. You know how it is. You know how we do. And tell me what your thoughts are. And also what shows you want to talk about now that 90 Day this season's over. And yes, I did see the Happily Ever After Family Day Chantel promo that TLC released. And I'll say this about it. They give her something that she's supposed to use against her husband to shock him? Like you would livestock? Is that what the promo insinuates? Before we launch into this tell-all, which we'll do just as it went, as opposed to couple by couple because the flow of the tell-all is hard to mimic. Here's what we know. Obviously, Larissa and Colt got into some sort of domestic altercation couple nights ago, and both of them put pictures on social media of being bruised or bloodied or hurt in some way. And then Larissa just said that Colt was abusive and never shared money with her, but she got arrested because of some of her previous history of being, I guess, arrested twice prior since living in Vegas. TMZ picks up the story and wants to bring out a point that Colt is a nail biter and couldn't have scratched Larissa. And then people in my comments were like, oh, I bite my nails and they're sharp as hell still because they're shreds. You still could scratch someone. It's really, really horrifying. So to watch this tell-all is they're together in the tell-all and you're just okay, but this is not what's happening. Colt has since filed for divorce that Debbie paid for the filing. And Larissa started a GoFundMe page, which then got taken down, just now begging for people to Venmo money to her on her Instagram through an Instagram live. But I want to kind of touch upon what that drama is and why it has thus made them together irrelevant. They're no longer together. And Ashley also, she had kidney failure or something. She woke up unresponsive and had kidney failure, which is a direct thing that could happen to people with lupus. And so now she was on dialysis, which sounds really horrifying, and my heart's with her. And since this special, Jonathan and Fernanda, the people we don't talk about, but whatever, are also no longer together. So it's okay, let's get into this tell-all. So it picks up right where part 1 left off, which was Colt and Larissa's entrance, which was a complete circus shit show, where Larissa is sitting at the very end, kind of just very much screaming at everyone, and people are losing their shit about it. She's you're not famous, and you're so jealousy, and you're bones, and you're dumb. Jonathan and Fernanda are just the worst, sitting up there with sticks up their asses, just being we're better than you, Asuelu again just starts barking and hitting himself, and Jay and Ashley take it upon themselves to do the most throughout this whole tell-all. I don't know, there was just a situation where these couples felt so judged by America that when they were given the little power they could to judge each other, they went crazy. They were oh good, I can judge someone else. And so that's why we saw systematically going down the line of every couple, whoever the stupid one was in the couple, getting it through everyone else being reality check. That was dumb. But anyway, we'll get into that. Cabbage Patch just walks out and Larissa's oh, try and buy a butt. Try and buy a butt. Ashley's just getting up, trying to referee in this kind of broke down bandage dress and these like blonde extensions, just 2 shades blonder than her actual hair, honey, and 4 inches too long, just waving behind her. Ashley, I don't really understand you as a woman. I don't really get it because you're a mother, you have 2 kids, you're like 32, like your taste in decor or are pedantic at best. Your decision making questionable, that you thought that this guy was going to be like in it to win it, or the fact that you like didn't care if he did cheat on you, even though you've like run from previous relationships where they did cheat on you. Ashley, you confuse me. You know, like I don't really get you. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if I would never be friends with her, just only because we're so foreign. It's not because she's basic, although she is, and so is Chantel, and I think about it a lot. It's that she's so vastly immature, so much so for being someone who has lived on this earth for some years and has the baggage to show for it. Fernanda and Jonathan and Colt and Larissa are just going at it throughout this whole tell-all. And at one point, Colt and Jonathan go at it. And like, Larissa's like, your jealousy of Colt's followers. Your house is so tiny. She tries to be like, don't fuck with Colt. He's a software engineer. And he's like, oh wait, well, what? I'm not gonna, wait. Okay, and that means what? It was such a weird back and forth and so indicative of Larissa's like kind of spiral into defense mechanism, which is like this kind of blackout of reason. And she's just throwing things. I've loved Larissa, and this is not in regards to whatever domestic situation she's dealing with, but I don't want my Larissa to like just be spouting nonsense. I want my queen to be making sense. Jonathan has to get up from it, and he has to be like, I'm a professional, I can't do this. But he did do this, and he did go there, and he was in with the pigs in the mud, honey, and we saw you. Okay. It just like starts another round of everyone leaving. Let's believe. It's a lot of like, we've been waiting 12 hours and what is this? And like people are pissed. At one point during the Jonathan Colt conversation, Colt calls Jonathan a doofus, which I just found interesting because Colt is kinda the textbook look and definition of a doofus. Now Jonathan is a tool. That's what Jonathan is. Tool. Douche. Doofus? Dork? Nerd? You. That's you, Colt. When you look up that Webster, honey, definition, that's your picture that Debbie sent in. You know, Larissa's just like, nobody carry about him. Nobody carry about her. You know, she's just like, only people carry about me, the queen, you know, like, and I get that. That is true. I just wish that you would allow people to talk so that they can make fools of themselves and look dumb, and you can just be like, righty, but how many Instagram followers do you have? Righty. Let's get into Eric and Tasha and Leida, which is the next segment, which is horrifying to watch, and I hate Eric and I hate Leida, and how many videos can you sit through of me saying these things that I hate them and they're horrible people. But what happens is we Skype Tasha in, that Sean Robinson is doing as much as she can to wrangle in the wild, wild west that is this tell-all. I mean, she's doing the Lord's work, honey. You know, she has her 6 a.m. trainer, honey. She called that 6 a.m. trainer after this tell-all, was like, I'm sore. I put in the work. And she did. But anyway, getting back to this. So we Skype in, honey, Tasha, and we're like, Tasha, what's the update? Are you know, like back to having any sort of relationship or respect for your dad? And it's like, nope. And then what we have to hear is that Eric and Leida are very upset and waiting for Tasha to apologize for the mess. That's why he's cut her out of his life, to apologize. Well, not just the mess, but the consequences of lying. See, because she went on the live and with Michelle said that some of the mess wasn't hers and some of it was her dad's, like, that was too much. That's why he cut her out of her life. And it's not just that, Eric then says. He can't even rely on her. And that is when the cast is like, rely on her? She's your daughter. Or as Leida would say, daughter. She's your daughter. What's wrong with you? He's like, well, she's an adult. She's 20. She can't even drink. The bitch can't drink. She can't have alcohol. I don't think you should do anything if you can't drink. And when he looks at her face, he should have the warmth of like a father looking at his daughter, but instead for some cruel, horrible reason, he's very detached. A robot just pussy whipped by Leida. Like, she's made him disregard his own children. I mean, it's too much to watch between them. Like, it really is triggering. I don't like it. Like, it's very, like, it makes me want to cry. Just literally every cast member is like, what is, no, she is your daughter. You have to actually love her. What did, I don't, why we have to say this to you. And Steven and him have a moment where Steven's like, she's a kid, dude. Just be like nice to your kid. Like I was disowned, and this one's like, oh, she's not a kid, she's an adult. And you're, and later on it's like these stupid liberal snowflakes, and everyone gets a medal. That's his like mentality. What an asshole. I'll just never I think that a big moment, a takeaway from this moment that's very dramatic is Steven looking Eric in the face and being like, I just need to know this. Did you know that your girlfriend or whatever, your fiance, called your daughter a bitch? Did you know that? And Eric being like, guess I did, yeah, I was aware of it, I guess, yeah. The relying on, I can't rely on her is like a very interesting thing to say about your child. When you're a parent, I can't rely on her. How selfish. It's like a personality disorder, right? Like that's just like, what? What are you revealing about yourself? That's your perception of the situation. And you also have 2 younger daughters that are watching you do this. I love Tennille. And during the Skype, I want Tennille to be there. I wish Tennille, I said this in the live, honey, I'll say it again, was like a bodyguard behind, just protecting her sister. Tennille, Tennille from the meal. Tennille from the meal. Where Tennille had her sister's back. That's a sis. I just kept thinking during this segment, even though how horrible it was for Tosh, and how much I hated it, Eric and Leida, just to be like, she has that sister. She has Tennille. And probably Tani has her good moments as being a mom. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but I'm hoping. But at least Tennille, I have faith in Tennille. This conversation ends in a horrible way where it's like, again, Eric tries really hard to hammer the point home that Tosh, his daughter, was the one that made him choose between Leida and her. When we have seen, documented, literally, Leida being like, okay, well, I'm going to leave this apartment if you don't kick her out over the phone, A. B, seeing you told me that you have to look, like you're not being supportive of me in front of her or she'll get mad. We've seen all of these conversations, and you're going to sit here on live television and tell us another reason why you're not talking to Tasha is because she's the one that told you to pick? You're disgusting. And even if she was, which she's not, it's Leida, but even if she was, you should then pick her. Case closed, the end. We never know about you. You live happily ever after. You've made the right decision. We don't know about you, but you live happily ever after. Because I don't know what hell you live in now, and I don't know what hell you're going to live in the future, Eric and Leida, but you are. It's coming. What goes around comes around. But this conversation finally ends, and Sean's like, well, I hope this conversation did something for you, Tosh, or mended something. And Tosh is literally like, yeah, no problem. Yep. Can I go? Thanks. So then we get to Larissa and Colt, and they have a Skype session with none other than Debbie, who looks great. I think she looks good. There's a nice little turtleneck on, like a mock turtleneck. You know, I like that. Debbie drops a bomb. The bomb is that she is finally moving out, which is news to Colt and Larissa, which didn't know that. But she's been hinting. Now, does she have a time and a place and a literal place? No. Or a time? Not even. But it's, you know, on the horizon for her, and she's wanting to update that she understands that she's supposed to leave. That's what mothers do in this situation. If she doesn't have a choice, she wishes she could stay. Can she stay? I make a mean omelet and a mean beef stew at night. I love a printer in the kitchen and a slot machine in the dining room. I'm Debbie. Colt's like, we all have problems. Debbie has problems. Larissa has problems. Even I have problems, even though I look perfect with these boobs and everything. Perfect as little bee. Everything that they say during this tell-all, you're just like, which I guess is what Colty also does, which is bite his nails. God bless. At one point, Jonathan and Fernanda kiss, and then Colty and Larissa kiss. And I thought about like different ways for me to like end it all. Even though I wasn't alive, I thought that maybe that would be bad form. Even though you guys would understand why I decided to take that route, because I can't watch those kisses. And also something that kept happening, which I know that if you were there for the live, which was they kept showing this absolutely asinine commercial for the Dr. Pimple Popper show or whatever on TLC. The craziest commercial that was like someone's foot that had leprosy. I don't know, not leprosy, or someone's foot that had the grayscale from Game of Thrones or something. I don't know what to tell you, but they kept showing the commercial over and over again. And I hate TLC for doing that and will never watch that show. Between that commercial, Eric and Leida, and some of the drama I've had to sift through off camera for the show, I don't know what's more disgusting. I really don't. You guys tell me. You guys are gonna pick the kisses. We talk about Natalie for a second, which had no point, but it was like, they're still mad at Natalie even though he did cheat. Honey, Natalie had your back and you're just dumb, you just don't want to admit it. Natalie was jealous. Well, you know what? Natalie has a scooter that never cheats on her. That scooter's not on Tinder. And then another horrible conversation with Colt and Larissa about whether he compliments her enough. Irrelevant. So Ashley and Jay are all over the place during this tell-all, like saying like, you know, like, let's go take a break and let's get back. And they're like giving their opinions on everyone so much. And Asuelu then like takes it to another level. Yes, of course, part one, barking like a dog. But in this one, he curses like Andrew Dice Clay and like a special on the HBO in the 90s. And it's on TV. He's so like sometimes pumped up and sometimes so meek, and I just don't understand him. I think that I ultimately will make the decision that he's so foreign to me in every way that like I'm just like, I do not know you. Like Mariah Carey, I don't know him. You know, like, who are you? In every way. What is happening in every morsel of you? I don't know. It's so foreign. I feel like I'm looking at a person from a different planet. Okay, so then literally what happens is a montage of all their weddings, and then Sean goes around and tells all the ladies how nice they looked at their weddings, when we all know that some of them did not look great. Leida. You know, like Sean's doing the Lord's work. She's like literally like, oh my God, let's wrap this up. Oh my God. I canceled that trainer. I'm gonna get a massage, honey. I gotta get out of here. Kalani's just sitting there like in a maxi dress, spread eagle, honey, like about to pop out that baby. She's so spread eagle. I'm like, is that baby crowning right now? I just felt like they should have like given her something more comfortable to like sit on. But it's weird though, because then you realize, oh, Sean's wrapping it up and it's like, we still have like 45 minutes as a 2-hour, or 75 minutes into a 2-hour thing. What's gonna happen now? I'll tell you what's gonna happen now. This is the dumbest. But then what happens is they just have webcam updates where they just show parts of the tell-all to the people and be like, this is what he said about you. And now that you're in the comfort of your own home, like, talk shit back. So they do, like Steven and Asuelu or something dumb. I don't know. And Eric, and just all of it's like dumb and updates. There is no updates. All the relevant updates aren't there. So I'm not going to even like really get into it. There's just a weird scene with Larissa and Colt like in the hotel room afterward where Colt's like, I just wish you would just sometimes stop and relax and see what you're doing. I'm deathly afraid of what could happen. Which is somewhat foreshadowing, and that's how it ended. And honey, that's what I have to say about that. Thank God it ended. Thank God. You know who's really happy this season's done? Sean. Sean wants out. I went on Sean's Instagram just to be like, how does this woman promote the show? And she doesn't at all. God bless, she's over it. And she posted this in her story, and I just wanted to share it with you because she wants out. That's just funny to me. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching with me, and thank you so much for all of your beautiful, sweet comments in the live and below this video. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate all of it. Sincerely. It touches my heart, and I love you for it. I wish you the best. Okay, so if you don't know, my name is Chris L. Farah. Have you heard the word? Please follow me if you can on Instagram and Twitter. I share fun things at Chris L. Farah. The L is for love after lockup, honey. Don't think you have to end here. If you need a little trash in your life, there's still always a little trash to be had. There's always trash in the sea because we pollute the environment so horribly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe, and you make that art. Thank you. Bye.